So another one bites the dust. For the third time in 5 years, grassroots members of the Conservative Party of Canada will be going to ballot boxes, or maybe mail-in ballots, to vote in a new leader now that Aaron O'Toole is gone. He is no longer leader, and Candace Bergen is the interim leader. So when will this all take place? Well, we know the leader will be announced and selected officially on September 10th, 2022. But what is the race looking like? What does a leadership contest normally look like? Who gets to vote? How long do people get to sign up to become a member if they want to vote? And most importantly, who do they get to vote for? Well, joining me today to share their perspectives and how this race will shape up is Mike Donison, a former lawyer and expert in election law, and Michael Diamond, a founder and owner of Upstream Strategy Group. Thank you both for joining me today.
Glad to be here.
Excellent. So I'm very excited. I always love leaderships. I ran in one myself. It's always an exciting time. Mike, maybe I'll start with you. What, so far that we know, how does this leadership look like it's shaping out?
Well, the rules are very similar to the last time. You're absolutely right. The new leader will be chosen on September 10th. Most of the voting will be by postal voting, we assume, although there is provision for some polling station, in-person voting. But I think most of it will be like last time, by postal.
And normally that is sort of how the federal Conservative Party has done their voting. I think for the last several goes, it's always pre-COVID. It's always been sort of postal.
That's correct. You have to be the people who are eligible, as long as you're a paid up member of the party by midnight on June the 3rd, you get a vote. It's a one person, one vote, except like last time, it's on this kind of complicated point system, very similar to the race you ran in. Everybody, the member of the party, gets a vote, but there's 100 points per riding. So it's not a strictly one person, one vote. And that was conducted the same way last two times. It'll be like that. There's big provisions now. Candidates, I don't know how they're going to meet these deadlines. By April 19th, they have to file. April 19th is deadline. And by April 29th, they have to bring in all their deposits, which is $200,000 non-refundable registration fee and $100,000 compliance deposit, which is returnable if they behave themselves. But that's $300,000 they have to raise alone by the 29th of April.
So, Michael Diamond, I'm going to ask you, bring you into the conversation. So, first of all, is $300,000, again, 100 of that refundable, is that really that unsurmountable? Is that a big amount of money to have to raise to enter the race?
Look, if you look at the last race, most of the candidates raised into well over $1 million in most cases. So it's not that the $300,000 will be hard for most of the serious candidates to get to. It's that the time frame makes it quite difficult, that they don't actually have a campaign infrastructure in place necessarily, and they're still trying to raise that money. So it will be an imposition to some, and that's probably too bad. If you look at the 2017 race, it was a much larger field than we expect this time, and certainly a larger field than we saw last time when it was $300,000, and some people were certainly shut out last time because of that that higher fee, which is probably unfortunate.
So, and let me ask you, Michael. So, Michael Diamond, when we're discussing that each riding will be worth the same amount, which regions or which ridings in Canada do you think should we really pay attention to, and which provinces do you feel will decide this race?
Look, it's all about going to, if you want to do this strategically, going to the ridings that have the smallest number of memberships. It's actually a conversation I had years ago with Mike Donison, and he introduced me to the term, the Rotten Boroughs strategy, so that you'll want to go and increase the membership in those small ridings because one member will have a disproportionate advantage. There might be ridings in Alberta or some in Brampton where there's 10,000 members. They're going to get 100 votes, just like that small membership riding in Nova Scotia that has 125 members will get 100 electoral points towards the end. So Atlantic Canada punches above its weight. Quebec traditionally punches above its weight. This time there is one complication in that the riding will need to have 100 votes to have 100 points. Otherwise, it will be a point per vote. But Quebec will definitely punch above its weight. And then if you look at where the inefficient votes are, there's certainly Alberta, some of the larger urban centers in Ontario also, where it's a much more inefficient vote because of a large membership per riding.
Okay, and Mike Donison, is that a new amendment to a rule that if you don't have 100 members in a riding, then you won't be allotted that 100 points?
Yes, that's a recent amendment, but the 100 points has been with the party from its foundation.